In this video, I'm going to rank every 1.21 Minecraft update feature on an S tier board. Hello my friends, I'm Russell and I'm back again, and as I just said, I'm going to rank all of these wonderful 1.21 Minecraft features on an S tier board. I did this for 1.20, I don't have any intention of slowing down now. First off, we have the trial chambers. So in case you don't know, which is kind of impossible not to when it's literally in the name, the Tricky Trials update, trial chambers are these massive underground copper structures with a bunch of mobs and a bunch of loot. I'm not going to go into any further detail because I'm going to be making a full review video of this mod in the future, but for now I'm just going to rank them. In my opinion, trial chambers definitely deserve an S tier ranking on this board because they're so cool. It's a massive structure where the more friends you bring to it, the more dangerous it gets, but also the better loot you get, and even alone, it's a great way of getting loot early game. I should also mention that every single one of these rankings is going to be my opinion, so if you have any arguments with me over where some of these things should be placed, say so in the comment section down below. Next up, we have the trial spawners. These little boxes are what spawn in all the wonderful and terrifying enemies in the trials chambers. Because they are not as elaborate as the chambers themselves, but they are what brings life to them. Ooh, B. Sure, why not? Next, we have the vaults. These are basically the same as the trial spawners, which when you insert a trial key into them, they give you the loot. I also must point out that this looks absolutely amazing. There's a freaky looking mouth on the front. You can see all the different cycles through the loot on the inside. That is so undeniably awesome. Based off of looks alone, this thing would get into the A tier. But with the loot that you get from these things, definitely up in S tier. Next up, we have ominous bottles. In the new update, you cannot simply kill a pillager captain to get bad omen. You must use one of these potions. I really like this feature alone, because then it means you don't have to get bad omen until you want to, so you won't end up having to avoid villages or die to get into a village to avoid starting a raid. But with these, you have to drink one in order to get the effect. And not only that, but if you enter a trial chamber with the bad omen effect, you get better loot and fight worse mobs. For all those reasons, I definitely say this deserves, S or A, S or A, S. I have a feeling a lot of these are going to end up in S tier by the end of this video. Next up, we have the bolt armor trim. Armor trims are little accessories you can add to your armor to make them bling, I guess, and this is what the bolt armor trim looks like. I really like it. It looks pretty nice. Let's see how it looks on me. Pretty snazzy. I think I will give you an A. Next up, we have the flow armor trim. The flow armor trim looks like this. And honestly, I kind of like it a bit better than the bolt, just because of more ornate details and stuff. I think I'm going to put it in A for now, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to organize these all around once I get, like, a full look of how things have been sorted. Next, we have the Guster banner pattern. It portrays a breeze as its little emblem, and I really like that, although it's not that useful because it's just a little decorational block. I gotta say, you belong in... Gotta be our first C. Sorry, Guster. Next up, we have the flow banner pattern. This is also just a little detail to add to your banners, add some life to them. It looks kind of like a snail shell, I guess. If you look at it sideways, there's a little snail, there's its head. I can't give it a higher ranking than C, to be honest. I just don't think banner patterns are that valuable. Next, we have the scrape pottery sherd. It portrays an axe. And again, just like the banners, it's kind of solely decorational. And I don't think it's that much of a big deal. Is it better than the banner patterns? Is it worse? I'd say it's just as good. Next up, we have the Guster pottery sherd. Just like the Guster banner, it portrays a breeze, and I think I've got to put it with C, just like the others. And lastly, for the pottery sherds, we have flow, which once again portrays our little sideways snail friend here, and I gotta put it in C. I don't feel like they deserve a D. They're not bad, but they're just decorational, and I can only put them so high because of that. Next, we have one of 3 new music discs, Creator. Let's give it a listen. I think this is my new favorite music disc. That was awesome. I love it. It started off creepy and then it started to become a bop. Definitely an S tier. Next, we move on to Creator Music Box Edition. Once again, amazing. They removed the bot part of it, which makes me a little sad, but I also love creepy things. And this is basically Creator, but it's creepy all the time, 24/7. I love it. And the last music disc we have is Precipice. Let's give it a listen. Once again, an amazing bop. That start kind of reminded me of the music from Detective Pikachu. Once again, a definite S tier. These music discs are crazy. Next up we have one of the 2 new mobs of this update, the Breeze. Let's see what it looks like. It's a little wind tornado. It's like basically a wind blaze. Oh, it's angry. That's so cool. How dangerous are you, bud? Oh, it jumps. It jumps. It jumps. I love it. It jumps. Oh, whoa, hey. This guy's like if you combine a goat with a blaze. It's amazing. Look how high this guy jumps. It's absolutely crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 strikes of another sword to kill him. I think the Breeze definitely deserves S tier, A tier, S tier, A tier, A. A tier. Next up we have the Breeze Rods. You use these to craft both the mace and the wind charges, both of which we'll get to in the future. Since they're not the items you actually craft them into, or at least in this farm, but they can be crafted into them, I'd say you go at a B. Next up we have the Heavy Core. The Heavy Core is the key component in crafting a mace, which is what I assume is this little top bit here. They have an incredibly low chance of dropping, and for that reason and that reason alone is why I'm gonna bump this down to a B. We'll have made it to an A just because of, you know, what a cool item it crafts into, but you're going with a B, buddy. Next up, we have the first new item added to the game since crossbows, the Mace. Let's see if I can find something to kill with it. It has 6 attack damage and 0.6 attack speed, so pretty slow, but what makes this special is its little secret. Its secret is that when you drop from a high height, it does increased damage. So if I drop all the way from up here, haha! Look at that. It makes a massive noise. It sends a shockwave, which would send every other creature in the nearby radius flying. And not to mention, it also does a crazy amount of damage. If you fall from a height of around 300 blocks, this thing with 0 enchantments can kill the Ender Dragon. The Ender Dragon! That's absolutely bananas. It's great. For sure an S tier. Next up we have the Density enchantment. Banzai! Oh yeah! Look at that! Density basically increases the amount of damage it does when you take height into effect, and not only that, it also makes the shockwave a lot bigger. That explosion was pretty cool, but not as cool as the mace itself for existing, so I guess you go into an A. Next we have the Breach enchantment, also only applicable to the mace. This basically is used to avoid armor points of any mob. So if you attacked a player wearing, like, say, full diamond armor, if you had Breach 4 on it, it would do more damage than if you had an unenchanted mace. Is it as cool as Density? No. Is it still cool? Yes. Thus, a B. Next up, we have the Windburst enchantment. The Windburst enchantment is the last of the mace enchantments, and it basically applies the Windburst effect when you hit a mob from a high height. Like so. Look at that! That's from Windburst 3. You basically get yeeted 10,000 blocks into the stratosphere. Woo! Wahoo! Oh, I missed. To infinity! And your mom! That definitely makes up to an A tier. Next up we have wind charges. Wind charges are crafted directly from the Breeze Rod, and you can throw them, and they basically explode in a blast of wind. So you hit the ground right beneath your feet, you fly up into the air. That's why the Windburst enchantment shoots you up into the air, because it does basically the same thing as this. And what's so cool is, if you get shot up into the air, you can use it to, like, basically avoid fall damage if you hit it right when you land. I really do like it. It's a very useful tool, and if you add it to the mace, then you could get a very deadly weapon combo. Ladies and gents, I think we've got another A tier. Next up, we have the last new mob with this update, the Bogged. The Bogged is basically the Stray of Minecraft swamps. Oh, he's burning. He's burning alive. Okay, now he's fine. Well, he's not fine. He's drowning, but close enough. Basically, the Bogged is a skeleton that lives in swamps. It is covered in a bunch of moss. It's got mushrooms growing out of its head. I really like how it looks, but do you know what makes it special? Just like a Stray inflicts slowness, the Bogged inflicts poison. So this guy could make swamps a heck of a lot more dangerous. And because of that, I'm very excited to see what swamps turn into. Ow! I think the Bogged deserves an A slot. Next up, we have the Potion of Wind Charge. With the Potion of Wind Charge added to a mob, then when they die... Oh, they explode in a wind charge effect. That actually scared me. Let's try that again, only this time I actually know what I'm expecting. And then when the mob dies, boom, it explodes in a blast of wind. Not phenomenal, but definitely decently cool, so I'd say you belong in a B. Next up, we have the Splash Potion of Infestation. With this, it basically turns Minecraft into an Alien movie. You apply it to a mob, and then when the mob gets hit, there is a 10% chance it will spawn a silverfish. Let's try that again, shall we, with a mob that has more health. Yes! So there's a 10% chance that when you hit a mob with infestation, it will spawn silverfish, basically turning the mob into a carrier of the silverfish species. Honestly, I just don't see the point of this one. This has got to be our first Z tier. Next up, we have the Potion of Oozing. Basically works kind of like infestation. When the mob afflicted with this effect is killed, it drops 2 medium slimes. Definitely a very interesting potion, but I'd say it's more useful than infestation because now you don't even need slimes to make a slime farm. You just need a lot of these potions. And for that reason, I will bump it up from a Z to a D. And lastly, for our potions, we have the Potion of Weaving. The weaving effect makes it so that when the afflicted mob dies, it drops webs. And then mobs afflicted with the status effect can move through webs slightly faster than they could without it. Once again, kind of a strange choice, and I don't really understand why it exists. I've got to put it as another Z tier. Next up, we have the 20 new paintings. That is right, Minecraft has added 20 new types of painting. Now, obviously, I'm not going to show you all of them because it would take me way too long to find all of them, so you're going to need to look up the pictures yourself. But I've looked at a couple of them, and I think they look pretty cool. So I would say, just off the bat, B. Next up, we have all the new copper blocks. Thanks to the trial chambers, we now have copper grates, copper trapdoors, copper doors, and the copper bulb, which is a redstone-powered light source that I am quite a large fan of. And for all those amazing blocks, I'd say this feature definitely deserves a rank of A tier. Minecraft's also added new tough blocks. Gone are the days when you could no longer chisel tough. Now we've got tough stairs, slabs, and walls. We've chiseled tough tough stairs, polished tough slab, polished tough wall, tough brick stairs, tough brick slab, tough brick wall, and the chiseled tough bricks. Definitely an A. And last but not least, we have the crafters. In case you don't know how these work, you basically put in a bunch of crafting ingredients, and when a redstone signal is run into it, it crafts them for you. Now, obviously, this has a lot of use in redstone contraptions, and I can see that, but I also don't understand redstone. So for that reason, I'd say this will be put as a B. Now I'm going to quickly go over this list and see if there's anything I'd like to move around, and I'll show you the final results. Okay, I've done a little bit of rearranging. The only things I really moved were the bolt armor trim and the oozing potion, and now let's see the results. At the very bottom of our list in Z tier, we have the Splash Potion of Infestation and the Splash Potion of Weaving. We got 0 D tiers today because nothing was really bad. They were either horrible or just meh. For C tier, we have the Guster banner pattern, the Flow banner pattern, the Scrape Parry Sherd, the Guster Parry Sherd, and the Flow Parry Sherd. For B, we have the Trial Spawners, the Breeze Rods, Breach Enchantment, Heavy Cores, the 20 new paintings, Wind Charging Potion, Crafters, and the Bolt Armor Trim. For A, we have the Potion of Oozing, the Breeze, Flow Armor Trim, Density, Wind Burst, Wind Charges, new Copper Blocks, the Bogged, and the new Tough Blocks. And last but not least, ranking all the way up in S tier, we have Trial Chambers, Vaults, Creator Music Disc, Creator Music Box version, Ominous Bottles, Precipice Music Disc, and Maces. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have anything you disagree with me on with this tier list, please let me know in the comment section down below. If you have any ideas for future videos I could do about this update, say so in the comment section down below. And I'll catch you next time. Sayonara, Ayonara.